evening, viewers, and welcome to Face to Face. We're actually coming to you tonight from our brand new studio at the Comic Lounge. We'd like to thank them very, very much for allowing us and the rest of Channel 31 to use this very salubrious, isn't it, boys?
It is. It's
setting.
very luxurious.
It's almost like being Kerry-Ann Kennel out here, isn't it?
Yes.
Got all that glitter and gold. I'm Linzi, but tonight I feel a little bit more like Goldilocks and the Two Bears, because tonight I'm joined with two representatives from Vic Bears, the gorgeous Alex, and can we even say the even hairier Dale?
Well, slightly hairier, yes.
Slightly hairier Dale. Now, first of all, what we'll do is we'll talk a little bit about the Bears and how you actually got involved, because you're quite an amazing group, and I don't think people out there are really aware of the amount of work that you have put into the community raising funds. So, firstly, Alex, your story about the Bears.
I came out to the Bears this time last year, actually. It was Southern Hibernation coming up to the major event for Vic Bears, and I saw an advertisement calling for contestants, and I associated because I love men with hair, and I thought, oh, why not, join in? So put my name down as a contestant, and they say the rest is history. But I went from the frying pan into the fire, basically, and it was great experience.
So before you joined, did you stand in front of a mirror and look at your hairy chest and say, ooh, I think I've got enough, or you just thought, oh, I can do it?
No, because Vic Bears and the whole bear movement isn't just about hair. It's not about body type. It's about feeling comfortable with yourself, and it's a great point in your life when you get to the stage where you think, I actually like myself. I'm comfortable with myself. I don't necessarily need to fit in with every single trend that's going on within the community, and Vic Bears just represents that whole ideal.
It's about being yourself, being who you are, and
Precisely.
yeah, and if you want to wear a daggy old flannelette shirt or something down the lead, you're quite welcome to do so, because you won't be judged.
Yeah, there's no prerequisites in terms of a look or a dress or criteria that you need to fulfil to come along. You just need to be who you want to be and who you are, and that's the most important thing.
And how did you get involved, Dale?
Pretty much along the same lines, similar but different. I met my partner at, of all places, McDonald's in Clifton Hill.
You should never have said that, because what's happened is everybo's turned off Big TV and they've gone down to their local Macca's.
I've just outed myself as a McDonald's eating addict. Well, maybe not. But I met my partner at a McDonald's, who also at the time happened to be involved with Vic Bears. And he said, look, what are you doing tonight? Do you want to come down? There's a Bears meeting on tonight. So I thought, okay, well, I was just going to go home and, sit in front of the box. Why not? So down I went, and the rest is history, really. I went on, like Alex, that year to go into the Mr. Australasia Bear contest. And I actually won it, much to my surprise. And then which seems to be kind of a way I got involved in the committee from that point, and have never looked back, really.
Because I actually hear on your blurb it says masculine down-to-earth attitude, not as a particular body type or look. And that's one thing I think that a lot of people, and I think I actually spoke to this about with Neville last time, that just before Southern Hibernation last year, that it is very big in our community, this whole image thing, like laser your chest and all the rest of it, whereas you've sort of broken down boundaries in certain ways.
Yeah, if you like, it's very anti-look, if you like, although in the United States, where the bear movement is much, much, much bigger, there are, subcultures within a subculture, and they are unfortunately based around looks. But here in Australia, where the community is much smaller and more homogenous, we haven't quite gone that way. So people here tend to be more accepting and more open to who you are and what you're about.
Because is it in the States or is it here as well? Because I've read there's grizzlies and pandas and otters and all this sort of stuff. And it's like for me, I mean, we all know that as gay people or whoever you are, wearing leather is another way for us to dress up and show who we are.
Yeah.
So really, by not having a look, you are actually having a look in a way.
That's right. Yeah, it's kind of a paradox, if you like. Yeah.
And we still have those breakdowns within the Southern Hibernation Mr. Australasia Bear contest. We actually have a category for cubs, bears and grizzlies. So, and then we have an overall winner for the Mr. Australasia Bear contest as well. So we do still have those subcategories, but only in the competition.
And it's amazing, like we were talking earlier, as we do, and one of the things that really got to me about, not got to me, but really fascinating about your work is you are one of these groups that, it's sort of like the quiet achievers out there, that what you do, you just go ahead and do it.
Yeah, we've never really sought to draw attention to ourselves in any big way, and this year is a bit of a first for us, because we find ourselves a little bit under the spotlight, which is good. We're not saying that's a bad thing. We actually think it's a good thing. But yeah, there's been a lot of work that's gone on in the background over the years in terms of, as I think Alex put it quite succinctly. Well, we all have our drag. Put it quite succinctly in terms of we're one of the few community groups that actually raise money for other groups in our community, and yeah, we've been doing it for many years now.
And is that something that came about, or was it an agenda, or?
I think it's just something that that just came about naturally. We're you get a group of guys together that go down to the Laird every third Monday, have a couple of drinks with each other, and enjoy one another's company. And then you just get the raffle going, and all that type of stuff. And it's just led on from there basically. And we identify that there's areas within our community that require more support than what they get from the mainstream community. And we just see that by raising money for some of these smaller community groups that do so much for the members of the gay and lesbian community, that they deserve a little bit more.
Yeah, one of the things we do is we have a monthly Den Night raffle, and we usually raise around $100 to $150 out of that. And we save that up, and at the end of the year we donate that to the Positive Attitude people, Yvonne Gardner, who runs a Christmas lunch every year for positive people.
She's done some amazing work.
She does,
Yvonne, hasn't she?
I mean, she's just another one of these people that works away tirelessly in the background. And I mean, it's a big help to them. It puts on their whole spread and gives them a really good Christmas Day luncheon. Yeah.
It's interesting. I love it when people just like that quiet achiever thing. One of the things, though, the Laird is actually your base, and apparently you get something like 200 guys or something on a Monday night
and that's,
at the Laird.
That's in the off season too, if you like, when there are no other events or other things happening. So, some of our really busy nights can really tick over with a lot more people. We can't exactly say how many because the liquor licensing laws might get us in some hot water.
Exactly, we have to be careful.
Yeah, but in terms of what the Laird's capacity is, but we certainly do very well with our Den Nights.
And also the Den Night isn't just basically bears. We get a lot of people just coming along because they enjoy the company of the bear community, and they don't necessarily need to be members, but they just come along because they enjoy the company of bears and the admirers and just the whole philosophy that we have about the group.
I think this probably leads into something more that Vic Bears does, is we try to offer a safe and supportive environment for young people who are just coming out, maybe finding their way, a little unsure of the scene, their sexuality, meeting people. We're not trying to say we're going to hold your hand every step of the way, but we like to be able to provide a safe, confidential and supportive environment for young people.
I think that's very important. If we talk about that a little further, because, there are gay people are like any other community, that, there are big ones, small ones, hairy ones, non-hairy ones. There are feminine men, there are non-feminine men. And I think that to be welcomed and to know that there is somewhere to go where if you're too tall, too big, too hairy, or by how you're judging yourself as against the community that you see, it is important that, shall we call it a service that you provide. It's warming. Can I use that?
Yeah, and it's tapping into that sort of subculture in our society. We kind of have an element of people who perhaps don't identify with being gay or see themselves as men having sex with men, if you like, or perhaps aren't out to their families and friends and really are quite conscious of the confidential issue, and we take that very seriously,
And we also have members that don't identify as bears, but we have them as part of our group. They just, because they love coming along to the bear events and the philosophies that we hold, that they just feel comfortable, and it's that warming aspect that you mentioned before.
It's sort of more your squirrels or something.
Exactly.
I'm not sure what that category might be, but could be. Yeah.
So how long have the two of you been involved?
I've just been involved
12 months.
12 months, coming up to my anniversary now.
Yeah.
Oh, happy anniversary.
Yes, thank you.
And I signed up as a foundation member way back in 1996, but really didn't sort of get actively involved until about 98. So it's 5, 6, 7 years for me. Yeah.
And just very quickly, we'll approach upon this, because this is one of the things that really warmed my heart when we were talking earlier, is the relationship. We will expand on this in the next part of the show, but the relationship that you have with lesbians. I believe that our Neville is about to take a step into the unknown.
Yes, he is. Yeah, well, you're more qualified, dear, to talk about this, so I might leave it up to you.
Our President, Neville, is expecting his first child child. It was actually due last Tuesday, and so he's on tenterhooks at the moment waiting for that phone call. So
he's not going to be there for the birth.
No, he'll be outside for the birth.
Really?
Yes.
I could just imagine, no, too messy. We're all queens underneath, sweetie.
Don't like to get out.
No.
Yes, but he's very excited, and Neville is just one of these guys who does so much for our community, and he's gone unnoticed for a long period of time, and he's just such a genuine man too, and he deserves everything that he gets, because he's just lovely, and he's very supportive, he's very welcoming, and he's a great friend.
Yeah. And I believe he's really doing great work too for the Bears, because he's do you call it president in your organisation,
yes,
or convener, or whatever the PC term is?
He's El Presidente, yeah.
El Presidente,
yes. And I mean, since he has been at the helm, our membership has really taken off. I mean, it's been building steadily over the years, but Nev's really, I guess, given us this opportunity of, I don't know, for some magical reason we've attracted, quite a few new members this year, and we're close to 200 active members at the moment, which is the best we've ever been. So
excellent.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, Neville, and hopefully we get to see the baby. It'd be nice to have a baby on Big TV. We'll be back shortly while our sponsors just let you know what they have to sell you. So please support them. They support us, and we'll see you shortly. Well, there we are. We just had a fabulous shot of a man boob with the emblem of it's the Bears emblem.
Southern Hibernation, 2003.
Okay. We'll talk about that shortly, because that's the main reason why you guys are here.
Absolutely.
But you did say something about, well, we'll talk about that later with Southern Hibernation. What we will talk about, though, is the affinity that you guys seem to have with lesbians and Pride March and anything else. Can we talk about that? Because I find that quite fascinating, Russell.
Well, I think I noticed it more so. I had marched in my first Pride March this year, and every time you walk past a group of lesbians, they just give you this almighty roar, and it's amazing. You just don't get that feedback from any other group when you're marching, and I don't know what it is. It's just some connection.
At Mardi Gras, I've marched in just about every Mardi Gras bar one or two, and in the last 5 years we've been involved with the Bears of Australia float at Mardi Gras, and we have lesbians marching with us. We have honorary Bears, and they keep growing in numbers,
Really? So you can become an honorary bear?
Oh, of course you can. Yeah.
I'd like to be an honorary bear.
We'd love to have you on board. Yeah. Absolutely.
Because I like wearing black T-shirts with funny little emblems on them. There is an agenda. But it is interesting. Like, we were talking too about that there are women out there who are lesbians who have actually had children to bears.
Yes.
And I find that. Yeah, I find that really wonderful, because it's sort of like, what can I say here so I don't dig a hole for myself? But it's like, you are men, like you're not that other gay men aren't men, but you are sort of blokes, you know what I mean? You're blokes, and that's
the real deal, I suppose. And, well, I guess, would-be parents look to us for a certain set of attributes, and in the case of our president, who's a parent-to-be, parent in waiting, I mean, we've spoken already, he has a certain set of, character attributes and a personality that, it's pretty hard to beat.
Because I think it's, and what I'm sort of learning about you guys, like I always identify myself as I'm a human being first, I'm a woman, and then I'm a lesbian. My sexuality is sort of down there, and I think it's, that sort of thing, whether you're comfortable with it or whatever. I've always been really comfortable. And what I get from you guys and what you talk about your organisation, it is comfortable with who you are, so therefore you don't have to project anything out there. And I think that's why lesbians probably would gravitate towards you, because you're not, hairy-fairy.
Sure.
Yes.
Sort of not mainstream as such.
We do have our moments being hairy-fairy, though.
Oh, do you?
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Like Shield Sisters.
Yes.
You can't repress it entirely.
No. Yes. You did mention the Shield show. I'll just quickly mention that if you don't mind.
Please do.
We've got the 9th annual Shield show coming up on the 8th of June. June, which is the Queen's Birthday long weekend. It's being held here at the Comics Lounge. Shield Show is the Shield Sisters, made up of Maxi Shield, Ultra Shield and Panty Shield, and a supporting cast of about 15. And it's about a 4-hour show, and just a whole lot of fun. And unfortunately, this year it's already sold out.
Oh no! So I've missed out on a ticket.
Absolutely, yeah.
No.
For $30 for 4 hours entertainment plus dancing and giveaways and all that type of stuff. We raise money for the Royal Children's Hospital, the HIV and Haemophilia Ward.
Okay.
So all the money goes directly to the Royal Children's Hospital ward there.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And that's I mean that's quite. I can't find a word for that. We tend to, in the gay community, I don't know, maybe forget, or I won't say that we don't find other organisations important, because, you know, there are organisations that we're going to need throughout our lifetime. But to actually see that you are putting back into the broader community as well is great work.
I think this is one of the organisations that tends to slip through the cracks. People don't tend to, see children in haemophiliac wards as being a likely beneficiary of, charity work. And so, Nev and the team do a great job. I mean, over the last 8 years, is it?
Yeah,
9 years.
This is the 9th year, and
they've raised close to $40,000. So they do a fantastic job.
That's brilliant work.
And all the volunteers that participate in the show give their time, and they provide all their own costumes, so they pay for all their own costumes. So all the money that's raised through the event is passed on to the Royal Children's Hospital.
Yeah.
Brilliant work.
Yeah.
Amazing stuff. And I've just been reading through here, like we have bowling bears, we have movie night bears, and there's one here that I'd really like to do. It's the Chocoholics tour. Can we talk about that one? Because I'd like to do that.
You're zeroing in on Southern Hibernation.
I am actually. You've picked up well.
We're on the ball here.
I'm weaving my way through.
Southern Hibernation is actually the highlight event of Vic Bears. It's the largest event in the Southern Hemisphere for a Bears movement, and it's held annually, about the second or third weekend in June.
Third weekend in June, every year we have it. Runs for a week.
Yeah.
And across that week we can expect anywhere between 600 and 1,000 guys to come along.
Yeah.
Brilliant stuff.
Oh yeah, it's a huge event.
And that's internationally, and also guys from other states around Australia, and it's wonderful week.
Yeah.
And there's and this is all like, what's this one? Bear Cadia, the secret chocolates too. I keep on coming back to that one.
Yeah, that's my baby.
That's
one.
yours. Let's talk about that one.
That. Yeah, it's a free event, and I lived in the city, in the downtown area, for about 5 years. So over that period of time, I'm also an architect, so I took a little bit of an interest in sort of getting to know the city when I lived there and really explore its laneways. And we were searching around, just to give you a bit of background on it, for an event to take up the Friday afternoon, because we've got a lot of guys in town on the Friday. They're there, they're ready, they're raring to go. What can we do? Oh, well, let's take them on a tour of the city. And it was designed to sort of introduce interstate and overseas people to Melbourne and give them an insider's view of the place.
So if some American tourists in check trousers and a polo shirt, they'd be more than welcome, we would say.
Absolutely, my word.
I can see big marketing things happening with this one.
So this year is a bit of a variation on a theme. This year we've sort of targeted all the little cafes and chocolate haunts and out-of-the-way places. Not your Starbucks or your Gloria Jean's coffee places, none of those. So it's the sort of the places that the long-term residents or city workers know that we're going to try and take 40, 50, 60 guys to, which is going to be a bit of a challenge. But and it's self-guided, so we give you a kit of materials, a little guide map. So if you don't want to beat the path with the group, you can go off on your own and explore, and it's free. So you just turn up to Flinders Street Station under the clocks, 1 o'clock.
Where else?
Of course. And we take you through Federation Square, and we go south side, even across the South Bank, and then back into town through all the little laneways. And it's going to be an absolute hoot.
And it's a wonderful culture. We were talking about that earlier too, like living in the city and what you find, where you have breakfast. It really is. And I think it's time to there are a lot of gays that actually live in the city, and I think it's going to be a great event. There's another one too that I want to talk about, and I can't find it here. It's the Que Sera and the Bears.
Yes.
Zoo tour.
And that's Don't Feed the Bears Zoo tour. We've actually hired a tram this year, and it's going to be taking a tramload of bears and their admirers to the Melbourne Zoo, and we're providing lunch and all that type of stuff. And Kesara has kindly donated her time to give the bears a tour of Melbourne Zoo.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
So here she's got a special hair costume picked
Yes.
out for the day.
One can only imagine and live in fear
I can't wait.
until the event.
Because that leads up to the premier event of Southern Hibernation, which is on the Saturday night at the Laird, and that's the Mr. Australasia Bear Contest, and it's the seventh
Yes, our
year
seventh
running.
contest.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's where we find our representative to send over to the United States to represent Australia in the Mr. International Bear competition.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And was it, I think it was Joe Rocker, was it Joe Rocker that won one year?
He,
Or-
just to give you a bit of history on that,
Yeah.
he entered off his own back, if you like, at the Chicago Bear Pride contest one year. Yeah, and quite surprised us all by taking off the big prize. Yeah. And
Because
did
he's
very well.
big and hairy.
Yeah, I mean, the Americans just lapped it up. They couldn't get enough. So, he won, I think that was 1999, the year he took it off. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And we're always looking for contestants as well. Like, it's a great event, and it's broken up into three parts. It's Bear Essentials, Bear Minimum, and Bear Fantasy. So you have to come prepared.
Is there one for like barely there so I could enter?
It's probably Bear Minimum.
Bare minimum.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's open to creative interpretation.
It
You can
is.
wear as much or as little. We emphasise the little, as you like. Yeah.
So Southern Hibernation, now the emblem or the logo that you have,
Yes.
how did that come about?
Right, well, every year we hold a competition for the design of the logo and we throw it open to our members and also any other paid up bear members of other clubs across the country to submit a design, and we offer a cash prize of $400 to the winner, and in return we get to use the wonderful design that the winning entrant comes up with to market the event. Yeah, so it emblazons everything from posters to t-shirts.
And who was the
The
winner?
lot. A young cub by the name of Mac won it this year, and did a sterling job, I have to say.
Magnificent.
Yeah, it is. It's
Yeah.
great.
So it just goes to show we do have this untapped sort of talent within our ranks.
Yeah. And Southern Hibernation, just to give you a bit of background as well, is actually a fundraiser for community groups. We've raised just nearly $50,000.
Oh no, not quite that much.
40,000?
But we're getting there. No, we're up to about $12,500.
Sorry,
Yeah.
wrong event.
Yeah, yeah.
Wrong event.
Talking
Thinking
about
Shield
the other
Sister,
one.
yes.
I mean, we could say that, but yeah, no, we can't. No, we're up to about $12,500 since its inception. Yeah.
Right. And this year, Joy Melbourne is the beneficiary of Southern Hibernation, and we're raising money for an institution that's become part of Melbourne now. So
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, one more plug for Southern Hibernation.
Yeah.
When, where, the why, and how much?
Sure. Well, the simplest and easiest way is if you have access to a computer, go to www.vicbears.org.au and you can actually view online all the events, get in all the information you need. You can register online and in real time. So it's pretty much
And Southern Hibernation, the date?
16th of June through to the 22nd of June.
In the year 2003. We have to leave you there, folks. Thank you, Mr. Grizzly, Mr. Panda, Dale and Alex. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Wolf.
Thank you.
Look, Wolf,
Yeah,
yes.
wolf.
Wolf. I've learnt that. Wolf.
Wolf.
That's the word.
The collective wolf. We'll be back next week with another face-to-face. If you're a bear or you'd like to be an honorary bear, please support these guys because their work has been fantastic throughout the community. We'll see you all next week. Until then, it's good night from face-to-face. And it's a big woof to you.
Wolf.
Woof, woof.
Wolf. Wolf.
Yeah.